Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. Today is January 22nd. This is our daily NBA show that we've been doing with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. Joe Duffy, not a bad start. 2-1 against the spread so far in these shows. Joe Duffy, thanks for being back with us.
Even better with premium plays, so we'll talk about that.
Yes, we will talk about that in a second. In our plays, 2-1 against the spread. Your one loss, though, was the under in Golden State. That pick made me very nervous. I said it in the show. So just be careful, Joe, because these picks are going on your permanent record. I understand these aren't your top picks. You can't give your top picks each day because those are going for sale on your site. But still, just be careful, right?
Well, if the people are going to complain about 67%, I'm not saying that we're going to hit 67% for the whole year, but it's not a bad start.
I'm anticipating, just because I know how it is. It's like you can get sloppy with the picks that aren't your premium picks because, from your perspective, they're not as important. And they're not. But it's just people are going to judge you based on what you give in this show. There's no way around that.
Oh, no, believe me, Peter. I've, again, my career I'll put up against anyone. But even, I've been on great 2 and 3 week streaks or a month streak. And I have that losing day. And all of a sudden, somebody who just bought my place for the first time, they're going to call and send me hate mail. So believe me, you're preaching the choir.
So 2-1 so far in our show. How are you doing in your premium picks at your site? Joe Duffy, give a plug for OffshoreInsiders.com.
58 and 37 with all basketball picks. That includes 10 and 1, our last 11 wise guy plays. The Atlanta Hawks, been riding them. They come in again easily last night. And I do have 2 wise guy plays for tonight, one in the NBA, one in college, and a total of 5 winners altogether at OffshoreInsiders.com.
There's 4 games tonight, right? January 22nd. I think as of right now, I'm only going to give one pick. We'll see what you have to say about it. That's going to be the under in Boston-Portland. And, on the overnight, the total was 202, and I was thinking I was going to make that an underplay. Now, market-wide, it's up to 203 or 203.5, but that's okay because my best pick so far in these shows was the under in the Lakers game. That line also got bet up initially up to like 205, I think I saw. Then it came back down. Right now, though, as we do this call, 203.5 is one of the widely available numbers, so I'm going to take the under in Boston-Portland. Boston trending under at home. Portland trending under. Boston trending under on the road. Portland trending under at home. And I just think that it's a too high of a total here. What do you make of that? Under 203.5 in Boston-Portland.
Well, the funny thing is, the free pick that I'm going to give out is on that game, but I'm actually going to go with the side. And
all right, let me guess what it is. Well, Portland, of course, is on a back-to-back off of a high-scoring loss. They've been tanking against the spread. So, given how bad Portland has been against the spread in general over the past few weeks, and they're off a loss back-to-back game, Portland coming in getting 8 points, I think the only play here could possibly be Boston +8, right?
You are correct, and you sort of touched on the reasons, but as I've said, that when you see an unrested versus a rested team, more times than not, it generally benefits the home team because when you're on the road, that's when you're usually playing those 5 games in 7 nights, and we have found that when you have a home team playing back-to-back nights and 3 games in 4 days, and the road team is rested, of course, the reasoning is very simple. The normal home-road splits do not apply because those home-road splits were accumulated with either the teams about equal rest or the home team normally having more rest. But this is the exception to the rule. And since 1995, yes, Peter, since 1995, when the home team under those specific circumstances is clearly the more unrested team, or I should say, in reality, the road team is more rested, the home team is only covered 36.7% of the time. Of course, LaMarcus Aldridge is still out, and the Celtics, granted, defensively, they haven't been playing all that well. And just to top it off, I'm not a huge trend guy, but the Trailblazers are 1-15 against the spread at home after a loss as an underdog. So, yes, my free play is on Boston. Now, I will say I originally had it marked up as a premium play, but we had a pretty nice system come the other way on Boston. Not enough to quite even it out, but yeah, this is a free play. And as much as I thought it was going to be a premium play because that angle has been so nice to us over the years. I mean, when you got an angle that's hitting 63.3% of the time since 1995, you can see how you almost blindly bet it. But I'm not blindly betting it tonight, but it's good enough to be a free play.
All right, so why did you not make it a premium play?
Well, we had a nice angle that basically says when road teams are coming off of a game in which they committed fewer fouls, they're normally a good go against. And the theory behind it that the sharp who gave me that angle is that it demonstrates when a team isn't playing that aggressively, and the numbers are pretty darn good. So it was convincing enough to keep me off of it, but still, Portland, I think, is a high percentage play.
All right, well, that makes sense to me. So the two free plays that we're going to give out for this video, Joe Duffy's going to take Boston +8, and I'm going to take the under in that game. Currently 203.5 is one of the widely available numbers. Now let's just quickly touch on the Spurs-Bulls game. And first, the Utah-Milwaukee game, right? Milwaukee is, I don't even know how many unders in a row they've had, but it's more than 10, right? Or it's at least 10. You know, the opener last night, I saw 187. I said to myself, I don't know whether the under is a good play, but I guarantee you, tomorrow morning, this line will be like 185. Maybe it'll close even lower, and right now it's 185.5 or 186. Utah, of course, can easily be an under team. We saw them score just 69 points against the Spurs. Do you think that maybe the under 186 would again be a good play here?
Yeah, that would certainly be a very good play, and the Jazz are playing back-to-back. Now, of course, in this situation, it is the more normal back-to-back situation where the road team is playing back-to-back, and keep in mind, the Bucks have actually been a pretty good spread play. They're the #3 team in the NBA in terms of margin of cover, and in reality, there's a big drop-off to the #4 team. Milwaukee's covered their games this year by an average of 3.6. #4 team is Portland by 1.6. So, you know, it's a pretty big drop-off. So Milwaukee's been a very good spread team. And you're right, the Jazz are the #5 under team in the NBA, and Milwaukee is the #3 under team. And again, I base that not on over-under record, but on margin of cover, which, you know, takes into account, as I said, if a team's had a lot of lucky covers, or maybe you're using a database where they've, you know, covered, and some other databases where they're using a different line that they may have pushed. So the margin of cover is really corroborates it, and the margin of cover is much more important. So yeah, both of these teams have been under teams for sure.
All right, so what do you think? Should I make the under a play in this video?
Maybe you should. Maybe you should. Yeah, it seems that I don't have any reason to talk you out of it.
Okay, I'll go for one more under on this one. You talked me into it. Milwaukee and Utah right now, 186 is still a widely available number. So I'll make that my second pick for this video. Utah, Milwaukee under 186. Then just look at the Spurs-Bulls game. You know, in the Spurs are starting to play well, put it together, play well, get wins, get covers. And when that happens with the Spurs, look out. That's a wave you might want to start to bet into. I mean, when you see the Spurs covering 4 games in a row, you start to think this might turn into an 8, 9, 12-game ATS run, just like the Hawks are at the end of right now, or in the middle of right now. Line was -5. Now it's up to 6. The Bulls, though, they've been kind of struggling. Will they be able to turn it around against a top team here? I don't know. What do you think about people thinking about betting on the Spurs here?
I don't really agree with that analogy. In the case of the Hawks, they are truly, and, you know, help me out with my French. What is it? Nouveau riche? Is that how you pronounce it? With the Hawks?
I think it's Nouveau Richie.
Okay, there you go. The Nawab Richie.
Yeah.
The Hawks are a team. Look, they have been a very mediocre team for so many years, but now that they've established themselves as one of the top teams in the NBA, they're approaching every game with a playoff-type atmosphere. With the Spurs, been there, done that. You never quite know when Popovich is going to rest his stars, and we know that he likes to use his entire bench and what have you. So, no, I think the motivational factors between the Spurs and the Hawks are completely different. So whether or not the Spurs are going to go on an incredible regular season covering run, I don't know if that's all that likely, because the dynamics are completely different. I really think that possibly the top play here would be the over. The Bulls are the top over team in the NBA, and they've gone over by an average of 6.1 points per game. And this deep into the year, that's pretty strong, especially 4 of their last 5 have gone over, all of them by at least 5 points, and 2 of them by 21 or more. But when you look at the personnel, Joakim Noah is almost certainly out. He's doubtful to very possibly is going to be out for tonight. And he's one of the top defensive players in the NBA. He averages 9.4 rebounds per game, more so on the defensive end. So you're talking about a Bulls team that has been trending over, and very likely without one of the top defensive players in the NBA tonight.
All right, Joe, great call once again for January 22nd. Joe Duffy taking Boston +8. I'm taking the under in Boston-Portland, 203.5, and the under 186 in Utah-Milwaukee. And that's our show for today, and you've got some premium picks tonight. What do you have for tonight for us, Joe?
Yeah, if they listen very carefully, maybe they could have guessed what my NBA premium pick is, but I will say my remaining 4 plays are in the college basketball. And don't make any jokes about foreplay, Peter. But I do have 4 plays in 5 winners in all, offshoreinsiders.com.
Thanks so much, Joe. Talk to you tomorrow.
The SBR Network offers free sports picks and game breakdowns, big money free betting contests year-round, a real-time Vegas-style odds monitoring service, and much more. So come see for yourself. To stay updated on SBR news and promotions, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+, and do be sure to subscribe to the Sportsbook Review YouTube channel to catch all our daily sports shows.